I recently played Transformers Devastation, a game about large robots punching other large robots in the face. It's good. This is what I thought about it. The original Transformers TV show came out 8 years before I was even born. So to say I missed out on it would be a bit of an understatement, as I was too busy floating through blissful non-existence to even notice. That means that my first exposure to those pesky robots in disguise was Michael Bay's 2007 reboot, the only memorable bit of which is the scene where Shia LaBeouf tells his parents he was one-teen in order to hide the fact he was talking to massive robots. And that's honestly the only bit I remember, and suffice to say I never watched the others. With all this in mind, it's probably fine to say that the recently released Transformers Devastation, developed by Bayonetta devs Platinum Games, is probably not targeted at me. The game is based heavily off the first generation Transformers TV series and sees many of the original voice casts returning in order to make the experience as authentic as it could possibly be. It is, as many grown men in their mid-30s have gleefully informed me, a game that evokes a strong sense of nostalgia. But did I, a millennial who didn't grow up knowing the wonders of toys that turned into trucks, enjoy it? Yeah, I did. It's really good. Here's why. Transformers Devastation is a beautifully presented hack-and-slash adventure. In the game, you play as one of 5 classic Autobots: Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Sideswipe, Wheeljack and Grimlock, driving, shooting and smashing your way through the game's 7 short but sweet chapters. 90% of the game involves fighting, and luckily the gameplay is sublime. Running at a smooth 60 frames on both PC and current gen, Devastation truly puts the term spectacle into spectacle fighter. Combat revolves around performing a number of combos with your melee weapons, pulling off a few special moves, and taking care of enemies from a distance using ranged attacks. Dodging enemies also allows you to slow down time, which offers a brief respite from the chaotic skirmish occurring around you. If all of this sounds familiar, that's because it is. Devastation controls and feels an awful lot like Bayonetta, but Bayonetta is arguably the best hack-and-slash game ever made, so that's certainly not a bad thing. Every time an enemy is defeated, you're rewarded with both experience points and weapons, which can be upgraded, combined, salvaged and sold in between missions. You can also craft ability boosters, and there's an in-game shop where you can buy new moves and additional weapons. Again, nothing new here, but it's presented wonderfully and adds an awful lot to the gameplay. Each level basically boils down to moving from point A to point B, attacking standard enemies on the way, and usually fighting a name transformer at the end. It's simple, and it does get repetitive towards the game's second half, but what it never stops being is both insanely beautiful and incredibly fun. The game mimics the style of the 80s TV show, but modernises it in the process, making Devastation one of the most colourful games I've played this generation so far. Although it may appear basic, its simplicity lends itself well to the simplistic style of the original show. It feels great to play as well. Each punch and kick carries weight with it, and everything moves at such a blindingly fast pace that even the simple act of observing the game is a joy. Devastation is sadly not without its flaws though. Its story is laughably basic, but at the same time is probably on par with the storylines from the TV episodes of old, so it feels a bit petty even mentioning this.
The Pharaotaxis controls both the Plasma Core and the Insecticons. It directs the power and gives the Insecticons their function and purpose.
Okay, so we find the Pharaotaxis and what? Destroy it? It's got so much of our culture in it. We can't do that, can we?
It's quite repetitive though. There's no denying that. Although the gameplay is hugely enjoyable, that's all there really is to it, and there's only so many arenas of enemies you can fight before it starts to lose its charm. Still, the game does shake things up along the way, so it's certainly a while before the formula starts to become stale. Transformers Devastation is also very, very short. I completed the base campaign in around 4.5 hours on normal difficulty, which is pretty damn short by modern standards. I can't really decide whether I like this or not though. On the one hand, it's a shame that there's only around 4 hours of campaign content available, especially when even in that short amount of time the game reuses both locations and bosses fairly often. But on the other hand, there's a fairly large reason to replay the game multiple times, with every character on various different difficulty levels, and that's before you even begin playing the game's challenge modes. Also, and I really don't know whether this point has any weight behind it, but here it does, this is a game that is targeting itself purely towards those who love the TV show growing up. Surely then, this means that the majority of those who will play this are in their mid-30s. They probably have families and a job, and don't have an awful lot of time to play games anymore. If this is the case, then maybe this is the perfect game for them, a short but sweet love letter to one of their favourite memories of childhood. I can't imagine this was a conscious decision made by the developers, but it may be a fortunate side effect. Also, I really have to admit, it was nice to be able to sit down and play this in one sitting. It was a refreshing blast of colourful enjoyment. I really liked Transformers Devastation. It's short and sweet and it's great fun to play. It's not worth the full asking price, I'll be the first to admit that, but that doesn't mean it won't be worth picking up for £20 or under. In fact, I'd hugely recommend it at that price. It feels like the perfect Sunday afternoon game. Give it a try. Also, as like a complete and final side note, Grimlock running is just absolutely beautiful. Just look at his little heads. Love it. With Christmas coming up, I bet this theme will be a tenner in a matter of weeks, or at the very most, a month. And at £10 or maybe even £15, this theme is just going to be worth your time. So pick it up if you want to. Otherwise, it kind of feels like the kind of theme that'll just be lost in time. It might get a sequel. Be nice if it did. I think that a sequel would improve on a lot of the things that this theme did wrong. But I don't know, it kind of feels like one of those brilliant little Activision titles that just never gets anywhere, like Singularity, which is a great theme. And if you haven't played Singularity, that theme's probably like 20 pence now. So play that one as well. And this one. This one's good. But so Singularity. Let's try Singularity out. Side note. Still done. Still done. Hey, thanks for watching. This is a review I did for this channel. Subscribe for more things like this. Bye.